Hello and welcome. My name is Szumita, and today I have the opportunity and privilege to interview one of my peers and classmates, Finesse Stewart. She's a political science major on the American Political Justice track. We are both part of the senior capstone class, AI and Politics, where we have taken a deep look at the impacts of AI on both democracy and politics in general. Finesse's research is focused in on deepfakes and how they affect specifically women. Finesse, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So my first question is, why deepfakes? What drew you to this topic?
So as a political science major and someone with the interest in justice and democracy, I find that it's bound for me to come across this topic. I think it's really important that we have people out there exploring some of the broader implications that deepfakes are having, not only on democracy, but also women, their representation, and their personhood. When a lot of people hear deepfakes, they just think of the harm to the person. And I think it's important to incorporate harms to the person, but also democracy itself.
So, I mean, you're focused specifically on women, and I believe I read on your paper that that's 96% of deepfake content is focused at women. Why exactly do you think that is?
Yes, so I wanted to bring up that statistic from Deep Trace Labs, a study that they conducted. So the stat is that 96% of deepfakes are of women, they are non-consensual, and they are sexually explicit. As for why I think that is, I think that touches into what's present in society when it comes to misogyny. And as we know, AI tends to exacerbate a lot of the existing biases and ideas and beliefs that we have in society, even though it may be right or not. So just looking at history and what's present in society, I would say that's the reason why they are being targeted. I would also like to bring up in my paper, I kind of touch a little bit on the history of women's rights and how a lot of the fight started from Seneca Falls Convention, whether it's courtrooms in Oregon. And I think that this fight went from very real, concrete physical settings to a now digital realm. And it's just now a weapon, another weapon being used to silence and harm women.
So, how do you think that deepfakes are going to cause even more tension in society, especially as they become more prevalent and as AI advances? How do you think women can combat that?
So, with the proliferation of deepfakes, I think not only women, but society as a whole and government should take up roles to combat it. I think there's no federal laws against it. There are some states, however, who does have some policies and regulations addressing deepfakes, and it's important to note that they're not exercised the same across the board. So I would like to see not only women, but also men in roles of power, which are dominating government roles right now, work together to kind of look at how disproportionately the harm is and look at what types of regulations that we could implement. As of right now, I think it would be a good idea to look at the UK and their laws. So far, out of the countries that I've looked at, I've seen that they had the strictest regulations against AI. It's not only the sharing of non-consensual deepfakes, which some states like Florida and California address, but it's the act itself of creating deepfakes is a criminal activity.
That's very interesting. And I guess for the last point is, have you seen anything that has fascinated you or shocked you about deepfakes?
Apart from that statistics from Deep Trace Labs, I have also been looking at case studies in my paper and just analyzing some of the harms done to women. And I think the most shocking thing is the psychological toll that it takes on people and society itself. A lot of these women were in position of power in government roles, and they decided to step down as a result of the deepfakes. So I think that it was very shocking just to read their stories and hear about what they went through while having to kind of move on from that and deal with their struggles from their family, society, whether it's a country like Northern Ireland who's very religious. So yeah, just overall implications and how they moved on from that is what shocked me one of the most.
Yeah, seems very interesting. Thank you very much for being here. Your research seems very fascinating, and I look forward to seeing it when it's completed.
Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.